I had the vibe was there. I got tagged in something on Instagram like, oh, T City step in, and I was like, you always think like people are, you never know what's true on what they tag you, right? Especially nowadays. And then my manager called me or texted me saying we need to talk ASAP. So I was like, yeah, that's true. I just felt it. I was like, they're gonna call me to fight Frankie. And then I called my manager and he was like, yo, they offered us to fight Frankie. Like, do you don't want to take it? And I was like, yep, we took it.
Absolutely no hesitation.
No hesitation. They asked us if they wanted to make it a 3-round fight, or a main event, 5 rounds. And we chose to do the main event for 5 rounds. We agreed on that, and then a week later, they called us back saying Cyborg saved the full card, and it's moving from a main event to a co-main event.
So you sort of moved into the limelight after that impressive finish in the Cup. Just talk about where you are mentally right now as you get ready to fight.
I feel great mentally. It's kind of trippy. Like just kind of the last 8 months, just fight after fight after fight, and just so you can see the progress. And I keep training, and I kind of wish I miss having a normal life, as in terms of like the gym now becomes like my life. So it's kind of weird, because before I definitely had more vacation time, more time to kind of just play around. But lately it's just been like train hard, fight hard. Right after the fights, go do something, and like just keep. I kind of just become obsessed with the goal. So when this fight happened, I feel like everything happens for a reason. And they said if I beat Frankie, I get the shot at the title. So it's like the stars align. All you have to do is I gotta get the job done. So if I get the job done, then I'll fight for the title.
We know you as a very cool, laid-back guy, and you talk about the schedule being so rigorous. Like you're a gym rat now. You take fight after fight after fight. That kind of goes against sort of your personality. How do you sort of like balance, what it is to do all that, but yet you're just this laid-back guy?
I have fun in the gym. The main thing is like I always have all my group of friends, all my crowd in the gym, and as hard as we work, like we used to go hang out somewhere before, but now it's like we're just hanging out in the gym, to the point where like my dad comes to the gym, we have barbecues there, we have like parties there. It's like spar party. Like imagine like everyone beating each other up, but after like everyone eating my dad's cooking, and like I have like a massage therapist there, so like everyone's just kicking back and having a good time, and I just keep the environment great. Just if I'm gonna live here, I might as well be comfortable, and that's what I'm doing.
It's like a patented T-City way of training, basically.
I love it. Yeah, it is. It is. It's a patent way of training. All my friends get together. We all, like I said, we beat each other up, and after we eat with each other, So it's like more like family.
This is a tremendous opportunity for you, obviously. And Frankie, I'm just curious what your thoughts are on Frankie giving you this opportunity. He has a title shot. Max goes down. I think he's well within his right to say, hey, I'm going to wait for that title shot when Max is ready. But he's giving you this opportunity to maybe steal that from him.
And that's what kind of I was shocked a little bit in the beginning, because it's not like Max is hurt for a long time. Otherwise they would have made this an interim fight. He's only hurt for 8 to 12 weeks. In order for an interim fight to happen, it would have been longer than 6 months. So he could have waited to fight, but he chose to fight. The reason remains unknown. Why he said I have to fight March 3rd. And if you look at the rankings, it's him and then me. So it made sense for him to call me out in that way. And I mean, I just feel like it's great. Like
how grateful are you to him?
I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful, and I'm thankful of everything that's been happening. I love the fact that he's a down guy who's just down to fight no matter what, even change of opponent and everything. He's still in there. And for me, I'm happy that now in my career, I'm sharing the octagon with guys like him, big names. I got to share the octagon with Clay Guida. I got to share the octagon with Cub Swanson. Now I'm going to share the octagon with Frankie Edgar. These are things that, as a fighter, you always dream of. You dream of the big fights. You dream of fighting the guys that you saw growing up. Now I'm doing it, and not just on one guy, but 3 guys in a row that have huge names and done a lot of great things in the sport, especially Frankie as a legend. It doesn't matter the outcome. For me, it's like when you look at boxing, you know what I'm saying? Like Canelo stepped in there with all these guys, you know, like um, Marquez stepped in there with all these guys. It's just for me, this is it. This is the time in my career where I'm the young guy stepping in to face these guys, these legends, and I'm doing all right. I'm finishing these guys, you know, and now I have another legend that I got to get in front of, and I got to keep showing the world what I'm made of, you know. So that pressure is all. I love it, you know.
So what do you think of this match? Because Frankie, you're a guy who's become the submission guy. You know, Frankie's never been finished. He's a tough guy.
That's the best part.
I mean, what about this challenge?
This is a great challenge because it puts that extra edge on me to be like, you know what, this is a guy who's never been finished, and I'm the kind of guy, if you tell me you can't do something, I'm gonna do it. Like, hey, Brian, you can't do a backflip off that 2-story building and land on your feet. I'm gonna give it a shot. That's just always the way I've been as a kid. So when they say, hey man, this guy's never been finished, I'm like, wait a minute. And everyone's telling me, oh, you can't finish Frankie Edgar, you can't do this. So for me, it's just like, let's go for it. You know, like, let's see if we can do it.
All right, you're known as one of the top jiu-jitsu players in the UFC, but in your past few fights, you rely a lot on boxing, especially to start. Is it because you've fallen in love with boxing the more you train it, or is it like the way that you can force your opponent to engage with you, to shoot in on you, to get into your jiu-jitsu?
I mean, well, at the end of the day, this is mixed martial arts, you know, and one thing I took, you know, especially from boxing at a young age, from my coach James Larson, was if you're a jiu-jitsu guy and you only cater your training to jiu-jitsu, there's going to come a day and time in your career where you face a guy who is a great wrestler, has great takedown defense, and he's going to make you look silly. And we caught that at an early state when I was young. I seen all these guys that were great at jiu-jitsu, can choke any guy out on the mat any given day. But when you put the gloves on and you stop the takedowns, they will embarrass you. And that was a fear to have. I go, I don't want to reach one day where I fight guys and I get clowned on the feet. And they go, well, he's just a good jiu-jitsu guy, but that's it. He pretty much peaked in his skills. We decided to take it on early, just pretty much add more to the plate. Jiu-jitsu was crazy, strength and conditioning is crazy. Let's throw boxing in there. Let's throw this in there. Let's just keep doing it. And now when I'm in there, I feel confident with anyone I stand in there because, like I always said it before, pick your poison. If you want to bang, we can bang. If you want to go to the ground, we can go to the ground. I'm at a stage where I feel comfortable no matter where I land in the fight now. And that's such a great feeling as a fighter to have, just to know that no matter where this fight goes, I'm all right. Everything's going to be cool. You know, I can take care of myself.
You mentioned the transition from BJJ to MMA. Mackenzie Dern is also on this card, making her UFC debut. How do you think she's going to do fare? I mean, what, do you think she's it's going to be a surprise to her? Or?
I haven't really seen her fight.
Okay.
You know, like not that I don't like pay attention to who she is. Like I heard the name through the jiu-jitsu world. You know.
Sure.
Yeah, but I just feel like I don't know too much about her to speak. You know, I think just the other day of her working the mitts. It looked pretty good. You know, like from what I saw in the little interview I think I seen, it was like, okay, like that's dope. Another jiu-jitsu player going into the MMA world, especially the UFC. You know, when you're a jiu-jitsu player and you go to the UFC, you're playing with the big dogs.
She's done well in Invicta, so now she's
Yeah.
stepping up to UFC.
So now she's stepping up to UFC. She's gonna fight higher caliber girls, and I feel like this is where they get tested. Are your hands good enough? Is your chin strong enough? And are you able to pull off these victories against the top players in the world? And ultimately, that's why fans love this, you know, because they want to see what happens, you know. Are you going to win or are you going to lose? That's what everyone's paying to see.
You know, early in your life, you could have taken a different path, ended up in gangs, and you know, a whole different situation. Would you say MMA saved your life?
I would say the people around me saved my life, not MMA. Just the people around me, you know, like Henry Gracie, James Larson, people who said you're better than this, told me you don't belong in this world, and you know, pretty much MMA and jiu-jitsu and training gave me an escape. You know, like I would always train, I would feel good, but I'd go back to doing what I was doing, and to have people I mean, who constantly on me, you know, like I feel like that love wasn't really shown when I grew up, you know. It was like I chose to do something, and even they said, hey, don't do this, like I still do it, I still did it. They're like, okay, you know, like even my own dad was like, you're gonna learn. But versus these guys, like, hey man, come on, what are you doing? Like, come on, stop it. Hey, dude, they're constantly on me. I'm like, man, why are you showing so much love? Like, but now it's like, man, they seen what I couldn't see, and that was like, dude, you're better than this. You can do good things in life no matter what you choose, but don't throw your life away. And it's like that movie in Bronx Tale, right? It said that the most wasted thing in life, or the most what they say is that the saddest thing in life is wasted talent, you know. And that's what I feel like the people around me, like Henner and James, that they pretty much really helped me see that, you know.
If you stay in touch with any of your friends, from back in the day, what do they think of where you are now?
Yeah, a couple of I mean, the truth is, a lot of my friends now, they're out of prison, and I talk with them and I hang out with them, and they're just proud of me, man. They're like, man, out of all the boys, you're the one that made it out. You know, some of them are doing good for themselves, but as in terms of living the dream, you know, that all of us talked about or whatever, you know, we always have dreams like, yo, I'm a bad ball player, I'm a bad soccer player, like I can do this, like I'm the one that said, hey, I'm a bad fighter. And they're like, yeah, all right, like street fight's different than, you know, like if you go in the ring with one of these guys, they're gonna knock you out. Now I'm in the octagon doing what I said I was gonna do when I was 16. So it's different. They admire it, they respect it. They know not to get me in trouble anymore, you know. So it's cool.
And what do you say to the doubters who don't think you should be this close to a title shot?
I don't really pay no mind to it, man. You know, I just do my thing. Um, at the end of the day, your hard work is gonna show for itself. You know, the people you beat, the people you finish, the battles you have is gonna show where you at. You know. So as in terms of the doubters, I don't really let them get to me. You know, like I see the comments. It's inevitable. You're gonna read what they say. Um, Sometimes you're like, I just want to write back, and like I really want to like, you know, some points you're like, dude, how can you deny like the fact, you know? And then you're like, wait, why are you? I'm like writing in. I'm like, don't send it, bro, don't send it. It's not worth it. And then like the next day, my friend's like, did you see what that guy wrote? Like I wrote back to him. I was like, no. I was like, what'd you do? To the point where like a lot of fighters I fought, they had blocked my friends. Like I got one friend who's famous for getting blocked for always just defending me, you know. And I'm like, bro, just leave it alone. He's like, nah, F that, man. Like you're my homie. Like I got your back. I'm like, all right, go ahead. I'm like, what do you write back though? But it's cool, you know. I fall hype to it, but I mean, other than that, it is what it is, you know. Like, no matter what you do in life, if you're doing something good, you're always gonna have haters and doubters. So I just leave it at that.
Talking about online controversies, did you see Jeremy Stevens finish the other night? And do you think those were legal or illegal? Maybe?
I paid attention to. I seen the highlight. I don't think it was illegal. Some of the elbows he threw when he dropped them, maybe I think like one landed in the back of the head. But when you're trying to finish and the guy's staggering, that just happens, you know. I don't feel like it's an illegal. I don't feel he's a dirty fighter, and I don't feel like he did that on purpose. Emmett's hand did lift off the mat when he threw that knee, so even if it did land, it was legal. So, I mean, like I'm not against it. Congratulations to him for finishing Emmett, you know. Yeah, but I don't think it was illegal.
Right, we were talking before about how like you're comfortable anywhere on the mat, and we're talking about like skills, right? Boxing, jiu-jitsu, but you also have this mental toughness that we've seen where even when the fight's not going your way, you don't seem to panic, you don't seem to. Do you think you have a higher mental toughness in that capacity versus some of the fighters, you know?
I feel like I've been through so much that 15 minutes, 25 minutes of my life, it's not gonna phase me, you know. Like the way I look at it is, what can you do to me that hasn't been done to me already before? What are you gonna do? You're gonna beat me up, or you're gonna hit me in the face for 15 minutes? Like I've been beat up worse than that in my life, you know. So the way I look at it is like, my whole entire career, I've had nothing to lose. I've always been the underdog. I've always been counted out. And for me, that I just thrive on it. I always say it's cool being the underdog because I'm cool in my doghouse. I love it. I love when the doubters are there, and especially when I'm in there. There's always like that. Hey man, like I'm still in the game. I got a chin. It's been proven fight after fight. The mental toughness is there, and if you slip up with me, have you seen? I have like the world record for third round finishes. So don't ever count me out.
Brian, you said earlier that you wish sometimes things were a little more normal. Like, what have been the most noticeable changes in your life over the past year or so?
I mean, just traveling like just like, hey man, I'm gonna fly you here to do this. We're gonna do, like just it's a change in lifestyles. I used to go from like, oh, he's a UFC fighter to like now more he's one of the, he's like a top dog, and with certain comes certain responsibilities. Meet and greets, going to the fights. I like sitting front row. It's cool. Yeah, like before I was like lucky if I even got a nosebleed ticket. Now it's like I'm sitting front row, so I definitely sit back and I appreciate that. But I mean, just like after fighting, there's things that we do in order to stay relevant and just keep fighting in the game, and working, and going and doing filming things and going here, meet and greets and traveling and just all kinds of things is kind of what really took a toll lately in my life that I've never really had to deal with before. Before it was like, you fight, all right, cool, have fun, be with your friends, get a month to yourself, and then we fight again. Versus now it's like, fight, rest your body for 3 days, and then you're going here. You're going like your life is kind of already planned. Like, hey, I got this schedule for you. I got this schedule for you. This happening this day. This happening that day. And literally, I got back from Vegas. It's like, hey, Max Holloway got injured. Like, now you're gonna step in on short notice because can you, save the card? And I was like, sure. Like, it's pretty much just bouncing everywhere.
So was there like a point along the way where you were just like, all right, I got to take a deep breath. This is the part of the job here. Like,
No, for sure. There's times where I was like, at an airport, and I'm like, wait, where am I going today? Like, or like, and the funny thing is, I just seen the like, or what American or Southwest, where are they taking me now? And it's like, all right, you're on Southwest today. It's like, all right, cool. And I get there, and people ask me, hey, where are you going? I'm like, I don't know. It's like, let me see. Oh yeah, we're going to St. Louis. And they're like, how do you not know? I was like, it just changes, I don't even pay attention to it. So that was cool and different, but I think all my Instagram followers saw for a point. It was like airplane again, LAX, like and that was different. That was cool. I liked it.
were you? Would you say you were a fan of Frankie as a kid? Like, how did you view him?
I seen his fights and I liked them. I feel like the fighter I fought the most that I was like a fan of, like where it's like was Clay Guida. That guy just for some reason I attracted towards the energy. Frankie's a guy for sure. I seen and I looked at his fights growing up. I wouldn't say like I was a fan, but like for sure it was like, yo, that guy's tough. He's a champ. He's fighting the best of the best. When I was in high school, and now I'm grown and it's like, dude, I'm gonna fight Frankie Edgar. Like this fight's gonna happen like on Saturday. Like that in itself is just an achievement,
After your last fight, after you beat Cub, Dana had a lot of high praise for you. Called you the future. You spoke about your character, saying
Yeah.
you were worthy of fans' praise. And just curious what your thoughts are on that and what it means to have a boss basically that.
That always feels great, especially with so many fighters on the roster, so many big names out there, and for Dana to really get behind me and like you said, praise me and admire the work. That's something that, I was like, man, I always work so hard, but sometimes you think about like, like your mind plays games with you. You're like, man, is this gonna be worth it? Are people even paying attention? Is my cause worth the work? Like sometimes you're like, man, I make more money doing something else, or and then you start thinking about it. And then when he gets behind me and he talks good about me and then he pulls me in the back and says, "Hey kid, like you're doing a great job," I like that, you know? And then when I really think about it, like I just celebrated my birthday last week, just turned 27, and I'm already in these kind of situations, these predicaments. So it's like, let go of the stress. You're young, and like you said, I hope to be the future of this sport. You know, I hope to be one of those names that hopefully a kid who's in high school is gonna fight me later on down the road. You know, so that's all I hope for.
I wanted to ask you also too. You know, in your last fight afterwards, you gave a really stirring speech. You believe the general message was, "Hey, let's just be good to each other."
Yeah, man.
Well, you know, as you're entering this stage now, where this is a big fight, when this fight, bigger fights, the platform grows. I mean, how important is it to you to spread a message of positivity?
This is important because every camera here, and I'm just saying not you guys, but everything in the internet now that we see is all bad. Everyone's so quick to just view the bad things. Everyone's so quick to praise the bad thing that we lost that love, you know, like that love for people, the love to help people out. That's been lost, man. And I'm not saying you have to be a perfect person. I'm not saying, hey man, you have to be a clean person, but I'd rather take a person who says a couple cuss words and parties a little bit that helps people than the guy who doesn't drink at all and does nothing but doesn't help anyone. He's just out for himself. And my message is, let's just help each other out. There's a lot of negativity in the world. There's a lot of kids going through things, a lot of people going through things that we don't care about it. We always see it and we go, hey, oh man, that poor kid's on the street begging for money, poor kid. Everyone talks about it, but no one is about it. And now I want to be the person that stands for the weak, for the people who are in trouble, for people who need help. That's what I want to stand for, you know? I'm not selfish. The money I have has been spent trying to make my foundation now. I just started the Brian Ortega Foundation. We're getting the website done. Everything's been ready. So I use the UFC as a platform to get the attention of people. I use media to get the attention of people, to let them know that, hey, there's still good in this world. It hasn't faded. Although it's not going to get the praise it gets, you know, because it's not two people fighting or just some drama or some dumbness going on the internet. But I'm going to make my own ways, in my own ways, to get attention of what I feel need to be done, man. We got to go back to helping each other. We got to bring back the love, you know, because we're in a generation where things are changing, you know, and we're losing ourselves of pretty much ourselves. You know, we become so much in this phone, we become so much in the media that we lose sight of what I feel is important, which is, you know, true human compassion, true connections with people, and like I said, the love. And that's what I want to bring back, man, because there's people out there who don't have a phone, people out there going through things that I've personally seen it. I've been to almost every single state in the hospital, visited a lot of hospitals, seen a lot of kids, seen a lot of things that made me realize there needs to be something done, you know, and that's what I'm doing.
Because you spoke so positively and want to spread message, because recent news was the school shooting in Florida. I mean, were you affected by that?
I mean, I on the ride over here, I was watching the debate going on with the girl, you know, with the short hair, and it sucks, man. You know, like I like to get the educated, you know, on exactly the full reason, and like to know both sides of the party and then make my opinion on that. But anytime you have someone, like I said, something crazy like that, where you have someone come in and kill a lot of students, that for sure sad, you know, because a lot of innocent lives are lost due to the fact of some stupidity, you know, that if caught earlier could have been avoided.
Was part of that negative culture really contributes to that? Something you want to change?
Yeah, I feel like at the end of the day, like the phone and things kind of does hypnotize people, you know. It kind of messes with people, you know, like loneliness, you know, depression is at the highest rates ever been. And I feel because we isolate ourselves, you know, and not only that, we're mentally, I feel like a lot of people are mentally weak nowadays, you know, where before when you go through things, it makes you a strong person, but because now we don't help each other out, you got to go through this alone, and then the more you go through things alone, the more you become depressed, and the more you become depressed, the mind clicks, and once the mind clicks, different things happen. You either lose it and you fight someone and accidentally kill someone, or you go in here and you do something like this where this guy comes in here and just does a mass shooting like this. So I feel like the marbles are kind of clicking now more that, that I don't know, man. These times are changing.
Brian, I wanted to ask you about another honorable fighter, a Black House teammate of yours, Alan Joban. He got a fight of the night on Saturday. Just
Nice.
Did you see the fight? What do you think?
Yeah. So Saturday was my last sparring day, so I didn't really get to see all the fights, but we'd go on the phone and be like, hey, what happened? What happened? And my friend texted me like, yo, Alan, like Joban just slept Sanders. And I was like, what? So I go on Twitter and then check the little hype, like the little videos, and I was like, damn, like, homie, yeah.
They both showed a lot of heart. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch the full fight just because it was, usually I'm watching the fights, especially it was like the 45 division is there as the main event, but it's like, yo, I got to get to work still. Like, I didn't even get to celebrate my birthday. Like, I got to spoil my birthday still. I got to get punched in the face. But, no, man, he did a great job. He did a great job. He's someone I do, like I see him at Black House all the time. I see him at the UFC Now shows. So to see him doing good things and great things, I always, like I said, man, I don't hate, I congratulate, and I appreciate, So when he's doing good, I tilt my hat to him. And I know every single fighter has the journey they're going through, has the struggles that they're going through. And for him to, any fighter to go there that night, get a victory, go through all the pressure, I know the stress is like, oh, it's over now. Now he gets to relax, see his son. I know he brought his family there. It was his anniversary. I see the Snapchats. He took his boy to Disneyland. He was on the little cruiser because his ankle hurts. That's pretty dope, man. Yeah, so he broke his foot, and the guy's Disney World because the love for his family, man. That's something I admire, man. That's pretty dope,